In the world of gaming, a setting or genre carries certain expectations about the experience. What should be there, what shouldn't, mechanics that shape the experience, can make it or break it. For this series, we take a look into them, one at a time, at least try to unpack it. In this episode, to look at rhythm games, I'm Not Much 23.
And I'm ChoasAssassin.
And this is Gamer Experience. And for this episode, guest we've had before, one of our favorite guests, Sean, also known as Backseat Gorilla Productions, is here.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me back. How's it going, guys?
Going good for me, at least. Busy as always.
Yeah, it's been all right for me, too, except hot. Again, I'm glad you're back on.
Happy to be here. It's hot here as well. Very hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
And today's genre was rhythm gaming and settings, and, well, memory serves, you do a lot of Beat Saber.
I have played a fair amount of Beat Saber, over 1,000 hours in the game, yeah.
Oof. So what's your idea as far as settings go for rhythm games then?
The quick and easy answer is whatever is most comfortable to the player, and it's very individualized. For example, in Beat Saber, you have a way to rotate the sabers in all of the axes, and it just you gotta, it's like putting on a pair of clothes. You gotta find out what fits. As far as the settings on other games, I'm not really sure. I've only played a few with standard stock controllers. But with the Beat Saber and even other games in the rhythm genre in virtual reality, it's the same thing. You got to calibrate your headset correctly, and get your arms length, your stance proper, stand in the right spot. Sometimes, especially in Beat Saber, you can disable a lot of the movement, a lot of the screen shaking, a lot of the sound effects, a lot of the visual effects. A lot of times that distracts from the core gameplay. It's a bunch of bells and whistles that could easily go away, although they are fun. And really that also ties back into FPS gaming, which I believe we've talked about previously. Sometimes you just want to lower that graphical user interface. Instead of playing it at 4K, you might want to play it at 1080p instead of having it at super ultra fast whatever settings. Like, you want to take away a bunch of the visual distractions. So really it's just a trial and error, and whatever fits best for the player.
I think he was asking more about like a narrative setting than a technical setting, but that doesn't really apply to rhythm games.
Either way, it's a type of setting, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just find it funny that if it's not like Beat Sabers, I think the only rhythm games that really come to mind are Guitar Hero and Garage Band.
There's also Rhythm Heaven for the DS. I think
Tap Revolution for mobile.
Would Dance Dance Revolution be considered a rhythm game?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I agree.
So I guess it comes down to the fact you can't exactly have a rhythm game without music, right?
No, or at least some sort of like rhythm or beat.
The music, interestingly enough, I know a few Beat Saber players that turn down the music and focus solely on the blocks. I personally am good friends with a player who listens to both the music and plays the game very well. However, he does not swing and slice the blocks to the rhythm of the music. He reads the map, as all the blocks, the map, as they're coming down the lane, because he openly says he just doesn't have any rhythm. So he's doing it all by reactionary instead of subliminal, whatever.
Interesting way of playing a rhythm game.
Yeah.
One of my friends, he was over a week or so ago playing. I don't know what he was playing, but it looked like a rap battle kind of game. But you had to hit the notes as they were falling down, and I was watching him go, and just the reaction speed for it was insane. Like I saw them and it looked like it was just raining notes and he was hitting all of them. So would that be a good way of bringing up your hand-eye coordination?
I think so.
I agree. Yes. The hand-eye coordination is very important, especially in a game like Beat Saber and Guitar Hero and rhythm games in general. However, I do have a game I want to bring up here in a little bit. I got two games that I want to bring up in here in a little while, regarding the whole rhythm thing. But yeah, hand-eye coordination, certainly. Yeah, you've got to process what's going on to the screen and then translate that into whatever method you're using to control the actions from the player.
Interesting. What games did you have to bring up?
So the very first rhythm game that I can remember playing, and now that I'm talking about this, it might not be entirely true about being the first one, but there was a game on PlayStation, I believe, the original OG PlayStation, called Parappa the Rappa. And they had these cute little catchy songs on there, and there was a bar along the bottom of the screen, and it would have basically quick time actions, as we know in like God of War and similar games like that. And also, like you were mentioning earlier, Chaos, the notes, or maybe the button symbols, the triangle, square, X, O, would come from the right side of the screen. And when it got to the center point of the screen, there was a little hit margin indicator, and you would press the buttons. And then the on screen characters would dance, they would sing along to the music. Sometimes, if I'm remembering correctly, if you missed, the music would kind of dip down in volume a little bit. And the whole thing was done in like a cartoon Japanese watercolor style. Like, I encourage anybody and everybody to go and check that out on whatever platform you can look at. Like, it was a great game that really got swept under the rug by a lot of people. And, from that birthed, in my opinion, like a whole lot of the rhythm genre.
Yeah, and Wikipedia agrees that Parappa the Rapper is really like the first influential rhythm game.
Yeah, I think there was some Mario stuff before that, but it was one of
So
those
I looked it
like,
up. So the first one, as far as rhythm based, Casco upskirting game, which was back in 1969. Parappa the Rapper was in the 80s, but the first one to be actually credited as the first true rhythm game is Dance Dance Revolution 98.
well, that's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah. I guess when you think it's like one that really became mainstream.
I can agree with that. I mean,
I mean,
it
there,
had
there'll always
giant
be
arcade
games.
cabinets. It was a worldwide sensation, and it still is to this day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you mentioned quick time events. Are games that have like quick time event mini games, would we classify that as rhythm based?
It
Or
depends
is that
on the
anything
quick
else?
time event.
Well, I know with Assassin's Creed Shadows, there is a thing where you have to hit the right button combination in order, and the more you do it, the buttons just disappear. So you have to keep track and with the rhythm for it. But I know that there are others that, like you mentioned with God of War, would those be rhythm based, or is that just quick time? And what's the biggest difference between the two?
I think quick time is more reaction based.
Well, there's a lot of the rhythm games like Dance Dance Revolution that it is reaction based. They're falling down, you have to react to them. So similar to how you have your friend who plays Beat Saber reaction based, would that be a subgenre of rhythm games?
I think that the quick time actions, depending on the circumstance, could be just another part of the game, like a sub control mechanism within the game. Like if you take like Breath of the Wild, for instance, you have combat, you have puzzle solving, You've got time management, inventory management. So on games like God of War, yes, it's a primary combat action, but you still have exploration, puzzle solving. So it's just another added control scheme on something like that. Now, if we move into games like Heavy Rain, which, man, the quick time reactions on that game are so funny if you do them improperly. That's a fun little thing to look up one of these days if you'll have a chance. But that absolutely not. That is not rhythm. That is purely like you look at it, you do it. It's reactionary.
So basically, kind of lead into what makes a rhythm game. A rhythm game.
Obviously music of some
Yeah.
sort
Yeah.
or melody.
Let's say for it to truly be considered a rhythm game, that needs to be the primary focus of the game. There needs to be a set standard of rules, whether that be you're playing a guitar, you're playing the drums, you're playing the bass, you're slicing blocks in Beat Saber, you're tapping on your phone to the rhythm of whatever, such as in or Tap Tap Revolution, and not sponsored, by the way. And there's really not much storyline to it. There's a campaign, but the campaign might be based on challenges rather than story. So I think that's really the defining thing. It has to be rhythm based and minimal story and music, really.
So according to Google, what makes a rhythm game is the challenges a player's sense of rhythm, focus on dance or stimulate performance of musical instruments, requires the player to press buttons in sequence dedicated on the screen, matching in-game prompts with the rhythm music, and has an awesome soundtrack that steals your soul and makes you hum the melody. I don't know how much that last one actually matters, but
I can tell you, like, at least once a week, I get the old Beat Saber opening, like, map music in my head. Hey, we're playing Beat Saber. It just gets stuck in my head. It's iconic. And when I was talking about Parappa the Rappa, I could, like, there's a tagline in there on one of the songs, a hook, you gotta believe. Like, I hear that in my head, just every day, you get something stuck in your head, and sometimes my brain goes in those directions. So visual or audio, like, I don't know, I forget what the verbiage you said, chaos, but whatever it was, yes. It can get stuck in your head.
Earworm.
yeah,
Yep.
it steals your soul and makes you hum the melody.
I don't know about stealing your soul, but I hum the melody for sure.
But for the most part, it seems like it is dance or music and oriented. Makes me want to challenge that and make a game that doesn't require that. More of like a pattern based rhythm game.
You could do that with combat very easily.
Tetris.
I mean, yeah, Tetris.
But at that point, is it actually a rhythm game or would it just be a pattern like game?
That
I
is
think it would change genres.
That's a thinker. Does a rhythm game need music or just actually require you to do things for some sort of rhythm?
That's actually a good point.
Let's Google the definition of rhythm real quick and see
Makes me curious and want to ask our viewers, do y'all know any rhythm games that don't use music or instruments or dance?
Oh, I'm sure after we release this episode, a few days after we release this episode, Lord Greyhawk's going to come in with a long list of them.
Knowing him, probably.
Yeah.
I swear, he's got like an encyclopedic mind when it comes to games and just out there games that just like didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, kind of like you do with Pokemon.
Yeah, although I'm still in need of an update.
And may not be an update worth downloading and installing.
Yeah, I'm not exactly thrilled with Nintendo at the moment. Actually, I'm not thrilled with most of the gaming companies and what they're doing as of late.
Yeah. But we're discussing rhythm games, not how Nintendo has just become the
Flappy Bird
Apple of
A
gaming.
rhythm game.
Apparently, rhythm games are just still huge in Japan.
That does
That's
not
one of
surprise
the that's one of those things. The second game that I want to bring up, I don't remember the name of the game. However, I do believe you can find it on a episode of my Vegas vlog on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/backslash blah. I can't talk. youtube.com/backseat gorilla. Anyway, I think it was a round one out there, and the game I played had a screen at maybe a 30-degree angle in front of you. It was a touch screen. It was all in Japanese. I really had no idea what I was doing. Somebody just kind of showed me how to get around the main menu, and then showed me how sort of the game worked when you were playing it. So you insert your currency and choose a song. And the way this one worked is you would tap the screen on lighted areas, and it was kind of futuristic background, space or like sci-fi, neon stuff. But anyway, like lights would appear on the screen, little circles, and you would tap that, and then there would be more that popped up, and it would be 2 and 3 at a time that would start popping up, making you use all of your fingers. And then also these lights sometimes would move. So when they moved, you had to hold your finger on the screen and swipe along with the dot that was moving, kind of like a hold in a Guitar Hero kind of game. So I've found those things just amazing, and any chance I see one at an arcade that I'm at here stateside anywhere, I'm going to make an effort to play it.
Sounds like fun. Reminds me of a video I saw. I'm not sure if it'd be a rhythm game, but it looked like it was fun. It looked kind of like an escape room, but the floor would light up and you would have the green squares that were okay. But when your green squares disappeared, you had to run to the next set of green squares and not get hit by the moving red squares.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
And it's like a game for you and your friends, and you have to do it with, survive the timer kind of thing. You have like 8 lives or something like that. So it's just one of those things that it looked kind of fun. The issue is I don't think any of my friends are athletic enough to do that with me.
I'm definitely not.
I'm barely athletic anymore. I think I only have like maybe 1 or 2 athletic friends anymore. Most of us are just homebodies.
Yeah.
How relaxing are rhythm games?
I don't really relax on rhythm games that much. In fact, if anything, I should probably get back into Dance Dance Revolution for exercise.
So for me, it's a spectrum. There are, and I'm referring specifically to Beat Saber right now. There's those maps that I keep going back to. I know the blocks, and I know the rhythm. I know where they're coming from, and which direction, and this is a extreme exaggeration. It's like, don't take me seriously, but I could almost play some of these maps with my eyes closed. I just know the patterns, and it's easy. Well, it's not easy. It's easier if you know the patterns, and then you can listen to the beat of the music. So you got 2 things working for you. You've got pre-existing knowledge and you've got rhythm. So that's what will increase your score, because if you know where the blocks are coming from, you're going to be more accurate on your slices. And that's one of the ways that the game is scored. So sometimes it's, for me, like putting on your favorite song and just having your own personal little dance party in VR. Like, it doesn't have to be like heart racing, try to be the best of the best. It can be a casual experience similar to going out to a nightclub or a rave. That's honestly like one of the reasons that Beat Saber is so appealing to me. Like, I was a rave kid, man. Like, I was going to parties in the late 90s and early 2000s, and there was lasers and lights and fog and DJs and electronic music, and it was such a fun time. So you put all that into a box and call it Beat Saber, you got me sold. And on some of these maps, they can be very challenging, very stressful, and you can get pretty disheartened. Like, especially me right now, I haven't played in a while. I'm pretty rusty at the game, Looking back on some of the stuff that I've accomplished in the past, super fast maps that are very hard to read with a bunch of backwards angles and weird patterns and whatnot. Like, I can't do that today. And it's a little disheartening, but I can always go back to one of my favorite songs and just chill and have a good time and not wear myself out, you know? So, broad spectrum.
Yeah, I can see that.
Going back on what you said, not much about wanting to do Dance Dance Revolution for exercise. What about like the Wii U? Or not the Wii Fit. A lot of what the Wii Fit had you do was somewhat rhythm like. Would the Wii Fit be considered a rhythm game, you guys think?
I've never really seen Wii Fit.
To be honest, like I played Wii Fit for maybe 6 hours and got done with it. It's like the tennis maybe, or that was just like Wii games. That wasn't even Wii Fit.
That was the tennis was like Wii Sports. I'm talking about like Wii Fit.
That was the one with the balance board, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, I had that, but I've got virtually zero recollection of that game.
What do our viewers think? Is Wii Fit a rhythm game?
And of course, you can contact us by emailing us at gamersperience@gmail.com. GAMERSPERIENCE @gmail.com, as in Google's mail service, all lowercase. You can message us privately on X, formerly known as Twitter, @gamersperience. I could use a break from all the spam, but mention something about the podcast, or else I'm probably gonna think it's just another piece of spam. You can leave us a comment on YouTube video, quote unquote video, Gamer Experience Podcast. Of course, we also have the Discord, Gamer Experience Podcast Discord. There should be an invite link that does not expire on both our pinned X post and every YouTube quote unquote video. Yes, tell us favorite rhythm games, if you agree or disagree with our assessment on some of them. I'm sure Lord Greyhawk, you're just going to list a bunch of rhythm games that we did not mention.
Or know about?
Yeah, like the one Donkey Kong drum rhythm game for the GameCube.
I forgot about that one.
Yep.
That one actually wasn't terrible.
Speaking of bongos were cute.
There's a rhythm game in Pokemon Stadium that is really buggy. I tried playing it, and even though I hit it, just like, nope, you didn't hit it. Just like, no, I hit it. But that's just older games.
So I had a little bit of a thought here.
Uh-oh.
So I'm reading the definition of rhythm on Google. And just to paraphrase, it's a regular, repeated pattern of movement or sound. So I took martial arts growing up, and we had katas, forms.
Yep.
Those were performed in a rhythm. They were also performed to music sometimes, which is rhythm based. Then you also have games like the original Kung Fu on NES. You can't just button mash that game. You have to press the button, watch the animation, press the button, watch the animation. You can't spam it. It will be detrimental to you. Then you can move on to games like Mortal Kombat with their fatality sequences of inputs. That's, I don't think, rhythm. I think that is sequence. But the combos themselves on that game, series of games, and also the Street Fighter games, you can button mash. But if you're going for a large hit combo, then you have to perform those moves and inputs at certain intervals, which would be rhythm. It's not a rhythm game, it's a fighting game, but it kind of revolves around that sequence and rhythm.
But it has a rhythm element.
Serves, there is or was a game that was a combat rhythm game where you had to do things in a certain thing for a scripted fight, and if you failed too much, you would lose the fight. I don't remember the name. I remember seeing it once, and with my memory, who knows? but that does sound like part of rhythm would be sequence and repetition. I don't see why games like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and those games couldn't be considered a type of rhythm game. Maybe it's an unscripted rhythm game where it's not a full script to music, but is still following sequence. But would that be more of a sequence game, more so, or a pattern game more so than a rhythm game?
I'm gonna fall back on my answer from before. It's a game that has rhythm elements, but it's not entirely based on rhythm.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Fighting games do not focus on rhythm.
I think that might be the answer. Like the definitive, if it is focused purely on rhythm, maybe I don't know. That could be added to the description. I do see a rhythm fighter on Steam. It's a 2D roguelike rhythm game. Not even looking at it, just Google rhythm fighting game, and that's the first one that came up. Chaos. But what you were saying earlier, that really does look or that does sound like something I've heard of before, but I can't pinpoint it. And goodness, there's another one coming out. There's some kind of TikTok rhythm-based martial arts game coming in 2025. I'm not going to say the title because who knows? It's TikTok.
That's valid.
There's Kickbeat from 2013. Rhythm of Fighters in 2014. That might be it. Rhythm of Fighters.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway.
So it's settings and for rhythm games. Why are most of them like some sort of band, garage band? What was it?
I was gonna say because of the music element.
Couldn't they make one where you're in an orchestra? Actually, that would be kind of cool.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah,
choose your instrument.
A game where you I think it would go good with the Beat Saber type of like the joystick, the I forget what they're called, the hand controllers.
Oh yeah,
where you are conducting an orchestra. I think that could be cool.
I agree.
Now I'm imagining somebody sitting there and doing O Fortuna and just conducting it as a game. That would be an interesting angle.
Really?
You could either conduct it or you could play in it and you have to listen and follow the conductor. I don't think a lot of people would like it because who would want to play in an orchestra nowadays? But at the same time, it could be entertaining to watch and see and give more of an appreciation maybe to orchestra directors.
Yeah, probably how Wii Music probably should have been. I don't know if you remember Wii Music.
Nope.
I don't know if anybody remembers Wii Music. It's not really a rhythm game, but probably should have been. If it probably was, it may have been better.
What are other ways you could do a rhythm game that's not something like Dance Dance Revolution or Guitar Hero? What are other ways we could do a type of rhythm game that's not the stereotypical thing?
You could go with a free running game, one of those endless running games, specifically on mobile. So you start off with the character that's running on a track, starting your phone is in portrait position, so the track would be starting from your body and moving out into, Earth, and not in game, just like physical orientation of the phone, and you just start running, and there'd be 3 or 4 lanes, and you would have obstacles that would come in from the left or the right or the center or a combination of any of
Like
those.
Subway Surfer.
Yeah, but the difference being all of the obstacles would come in on a specific note, like a downbeat or a hi-hat, or Speaking of rhythm games, like, I'm not trying to change the subject, just mention it for later. Sewer Shark was one of those kind of interesting forms of a rhythm game-ish kind of thing. But yeah, going back to like the free run games, just have that based on rhythm instead of reactionary.
I think that would work.
That reminds me of one. There was a game where you controlled the rhythm because it was Viking. You were beating the drum for the rowers.
Oh, was that part of God of War or something?
No, I'm pretty sure it was a VR game. You had to sit there and you had to beat the drum and you had to keep a certain rhythm, a certain pace for the rowers to row your boat. and it was like Viking-esque.
That's an interesting twist on a rhythm game.
That is.
I remember seeing it. I just don't remember if it was VR or what it was on. But that would be another aspect. That would be something like some of them, like the Mario party games. Because if you think about it, like the Olympic row teams, where they're sitting there rowing the boat, they have to be in perfect synchronization and rhythm.
Yeah, that's
That
why.
would be another aspect that you could look into it.
Yeah, isn't the person who actually coordinates that called the coxswain?
I have no idea. I do not pay attention to most Olympic sports other than swimming. Why? I'm not sure.
I do not know.
Yeah, that's person is called a coxswain.
All right, calm down now. So that makes me think, similar to how would that be considered a rhythm-based sport?
I believe that would be considered a rhythm-based sport.
Because that also makes me think of synchronized swimming. They have to be in perfect synchronicity, and they always follow some sort of music, so it's a rhythm. So it's a rhythm-based sport, right?
And there's also rhythmatic Olympics, or no, rhythmatic gymnastics.
Which makes me think, why not make a game where you're in a rhythm Olympics? You're doing all of the different sports and things that require rhythm. I think that'd be another way of doing some sort of rhythmic game that's not, Guitar Hero or Dance Dance Revolution.
Yeah, like Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, but only the rhythm-based Olympic events.
Yeah, it'd be a good way, similar to how we tried to make games for people to actually exercise. I think it'd be good for maybe the Switch, if Switch wasn't the Switch.
Yeah.
I think it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. So, Chaos. We're talking about orchestra game potential, right? There's currently one available on Steam, and it is for VR, where you conduct an orchestra.
Really? That's actually a game?
It is released October 22nd of last year, 2024.
What is the name of it?
It's called Maestro. It says Maestro is a unique VR rhythm game where you conduct a symphony orchestra using just your hands. Every gesture matters. Your hands are precisely tracked to keep the tempo, cue the instruments, and shape the music in real time. The music is yours to direct, not follow. And it's got very positive reviews and a free demo.
I have no idea how to spell Maestro.
Maestro.
I found it. Okay. So there's Maestro, Merge Maestro, Maestro VR, Robo. There's a lot of things with the name Maestro.
Search on the right side for VR only. And it's made by Creature Label. That's the studio. Or wait, no, Double Jack is the developer. Double Jack and Creature Label are the publishers.
I'm watching it right now. That's actually kind of cool.
I hadn't watched it yet. I didn't want my audio to bleed over.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, but seems like we kind of run this well dry, at least for this session.
There's not much we can talk about because I didn't know about the Maestro thing, but that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, so again, if there's more aspects or types of rhythm games that you think we should have mentioned, again, gamerexperience@gmail.com, all lowercase, Discord, Gamer Experience Podcast, YouTube, Gamer Experience Podcast, at Gamer Experience on X, formerly known as Twitter. And we also have a Patreon, patreon.com/gamerexperience. We only have 2 tiers right now, but since we have no budget, any and everything helps. And I'd like to thank Sean, Backseat Gorilla, for joining us again.
It was a pleasure, gentlemen. I'm looking forward to the next time. I have a lot of fun talking video games with you guys.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
And to bring up what Lord Greyhawk brought up from our last proper episode of free games and demos, that Pathfinder 1st and 2nd editions, well, both Pathfinder and Starfinder, but 1st and 2nd edition, they actually have, Paizo actually puts all the rules and a lot of the stuff online for free. on Archives of Nethys.
I literally look at our Discord and it's just an entire list.
Yeah. I already mentioned Monty Python, RPG's Quick Start. Apparently Cowboy Bebop, Voltron, and Cyberpunk, same thing. There's out-of-print collectible card games supported for print and play, like Legend of the Five Rings, Middle Earth, The Wizards, Star Trek The Next Generation collectible card game, and WWE Raw. And apparently you can play a lot of tabletop games online for free through Tabletop Simulator, even though which I didn't mention because number one, didn't really know all that much about Tabletop Simulator, and number two, Tabletop Simulator itself is not free. But again, I'd like to thank Backseat Gorilla Productions again for this sort of a discussion, however deep it went, about rhythm games. And I'm Not Much 23.
I'm ChoasAssassin.
This is Gamer Experience, and as always, we invite you to have your own gamer experience.